everybody. Welcome back. The Donovan Sadiq Show. I am the IE Informer, also known as the Recovering Democrat, and welcome back to my perspective on how I see things. Haven't done the actual podcast in a minute, and so we're doing multiple things here, podcast and a video cast. It is Labor Day. It is right now approximately 1 o'clock, and been a hot day. Lake Paris, not far from my home, is packed with people having a good time, enjoying the holiday weekend and all that good stuff. So what's on my mind right now? Well, you guys are saying, well, you know, what's the issue now? A little disappointed, as you guys have heard. California the Senate passed a bill that will give migrants, and I don't even know why we're calling them migrants. We should be calling them what they are: illegal aliens that are invading the United States, because migrants don't come here just to work in the fields and go back home. No, those are migrants, and we've had that here in California for a very, very long time. This is an invasion. These people are illegal immigrants that are coming to this country under the Democratic policies. But here in California, we've been dealing with that for ever since I was little. They've been dealing with that since Ronald Reagan was governor. So that's nothing new. Of course, if you guys don't know your history, California was a part of Mexico. And it was purchased from Mexico after the Mexican-American War, and we got all of these western states that was also a part of Mexico, just like Texas was. See, one thing about Americans, we have very, very short memories, and we don't know our own history. That's why most people, when they graduate high school, are basically uneducated. And that's the way the government wants you, because if you think you've never done anything, you will never do anything. Thus, they do not teach black history. They don't teach really much about any other culture's history but white culture. So there you have it. But I'm Donovan Sadiq, the Inland Empire Informer, and they recently passed a bill in the California Assembly where illegal migrants can purchase a home. That is what it's been sold as, so that these people could get up to $150 in assistance for a down payment toward a home. Now, again, the median income of a home in California is $800,000. So yes, $150 is significant. And the bad thing is, we have some older people who said, I need to read the bill because it says nothing about illegals. Of course it doesn't say anything about illegals. Of course it doesn't. Why would it say that? But see, this is the problem with our older generation. They are so out of touch with what is actually happening because they've got their piece of the pie. They could care less. They're in their twilight years, and God bless them. God bless them. Of course, the bill's not going to say illegal. But if 18 million illegal people have come across the border to the United States, and by executive order, Joe Biden gives them legal standing to be here, who do you think is now eligible for $150,000 housing assistance? The people that were formerly illegal. They now have standing because by executive order, they were legalized to be here. It's just very sad what is going on. So I'm a little somber being a California resident, because in that same assembly, as the fiscal year is ending, they did not bring the reparations bill to a vote. Didn't bring it. To keep Gavin Newsom off the hot seat. They've already done the study. They've already came out with their recommendations, and this is how they do black people. A lot of people, yesterday I was on the Dimitri K show, and they were saying, well, what blacks need to do is they need to, get together and blah, 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 right? 40 years ago, that might have worked. But black people are less than 6% and still going of citizens in California. They are now not enough black people to make a significant difference. Basically, black people have basically no voice in California politics. And this is what's happening across the nation. And people like myself and the new black media, we are ringing the alarm for you guys to wake up. And unfortunately, a lot of people are waking up too late. Where are these illegal immigrants going? Are they going to Beverly Hills? Are they going to Martha's Vineyards? Are they going to the rich areas of your cities? No, they're going into the black neighborhoods, and they're taking over the black neighborhoods. Just before I came on air today, just now, I just heard in Dallas, Texas, Venezuelans are taking over an apartment complex or something in Dallas. We've already heard about Colorado. Black people are becoming irrelevant, and as Joe Biden sits in his lame duck status, not being heard from, not doing interviews, everybody's distracted with this Kamala Harris thing, he is legalizing and giving legal standing to thousands. Every day he is probably by pen signing and legalizing thousands of immigrants, illegal immigrants, and giving them legal standing. That's not just a Democratic policy, that's a Republican policy as well. You're dealing with corporate politicians on both sides of the aisles. They want this. And it's so sad because the older generation comes at us, younger people, about, we don't know what we're talking about. That's ridiculous. That doesn't make sense. I had a person tell me that illegals are not taking American jobs. They don't have Social Security cards. They don't have this. They don't need them. They don't need them. So the Tyson chicken plant last year, or whenever that incident happened, where they fired all of the American workers and hired illegal workers, I imagined that. That's how out of touch these people are. They're just going with what they're hearing, and they're not doing their homework and researching it for themselves. Black people, we're out of time. Demetra and I'm very sure others, have been ringing the alarm. And I can say for myself, at least Demetra and I have been doing our show for at least 8 years, ringing the alarm. At least 8 years, minimum. Telling you guys about Kamala Harris, telling you guys about all these things that are happening, and now it's happening in your face. So I was talking to a good friend of mine last night, hadn't talked to him in a while, and we grew up together in Japan. And he was asking me, and you know, he was trying to be, non-offensive, and which, you know, my friends, I don't have friends that just get along to get along. I surround myself with people that are real. Tell me if I'm offending you. I want to know. If I'm out of pocket, I want to know. I don't need any fake friends. I need real friends around me, because I'm a real person too. Because I know not everybody's a political junkie like I am. But see, my friends know this is what I do. They don't have to like it, but they say, "Hey, that's Donovan. He just does what he does." You know? So he asked me. He goes, "Dude, I noticed you're always, dogging Kamala Harris. You're always doing these things, against Kamala Harris." He goes, "I never see you say anything about Trump." And I said, "You know what? That's a good point you're bringing up." But I said, "Did you forget when Trump ran in 2016? Who was the main person calling Trump out? That was me. That was Demetra. We were saying what a flawed candidate, what a POS this guy is, what was actually happening." See, Americans, we forget, we forget certain things because now we're in a different cycle, and now everybody's like, oh, he's just coming at her. But wait a minute, 2016, I called out Trump in 2016. I called out Trump in 2020. How many of you go to my Facebook registry and look at the history? Go to my YouTube pages. It's all there. I don't delete my pages. I mean, if the YouTube does it or whatever, that's them. But it is what it is. Go back when we were talking about Kamala Harris. Go back when we were talking about Donald Trump. We call out everybody and anybody that is detrimental to black people. And I just thought it was kind of ironic that he brought that up. But again, he's living his life. He's not really paying attention to stuff, and people see it in a certain perspective. But I had to explain to him this. And if you followed my show, Demetra's show, the African Diaspora News Channel, Brother Philip Scott, and all other types of new black media, the reason we don't really care about a Donald Trump or Republican candidates is the mere fact that they don't solicit our vote. So why would I waste my time talking about a Republican candidate when they don't come to me every year knocking on my door asking me to vote for them and vote for more of nothing? We've said it time and time again. Both parties ain't shit. We've said that. Especially when it comes to black people. A D in front of your name, an R in front of your name, they both uphold white supremacy. We've said that. But I'm not going to waste my time with Republicans when black people overwhelmingly give their votes to the Democratic Party. And what do we get for it? Nothing. Now, my friend being of Asian descent, and he's like a brother to me, an older brother to me, I could see why he might be pro-Democrat, because he got something for his vote. If he voted Democrat, I don't know how he voted, but even if he didn't vote Democrat, he still got something for my vote or your vote, whoever voted for the Biden-Harris regime. So, again, how could you be mad at me for being upset and trying to wake up black people who are getting nothing from these parties? There is no state more democratic than California, and they did not even bring the reparations bill to the floor. This is something we got to report on, and I'm very disappointed. I'm a recovering Democrat. But this is the stuff that happens to black people. They never seem to be able to find money when it comes to giving black people what is due us. But everybody else gets the bag, even people who are not even supposed to be here. And we're just supposed to be silent. And that ain't what I'm saying, my friend is saying. But I call out any politician that's trash. I'm sorry. As I've said, I am a recovering Democrat. Most black people, we are born, bred, and usually die Democrats. But as a recovering Democrat, like any other recovering addict, I know that what I am used to and what I want to do is not good for me personally. It's not good for my family. That's why I'm in recovery. But again, most people don't pay attention to what's going on. A lot of my friends know I am involved in my local politics. There's no doubt about that. I'm not saying that makes me an expert or make me better than you or whatever the deal is, but I'm more aware of what is happening. And we predicted this years ago. I mean, there's a lot of black activists and people that have predicted that black people are a permanent underclass, and here we are. They are prioritizing other people over black citizens, FBAs that are here. And I just can't be silent about that because here's my situation. I worked hard as a young man. I served this country. Very proud of that service. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. There is going to come a day, and it's coming very soon, where I'm just going to walk away because there's nothing else left for me to do. Malcolm X said it better than I did. And he said this: they may have the gas ovens already on before you realize that they're hot. And that's a reference to the Holocaust and what was happening to the Jews during World War II. By the time they realized what was going on, the gas ovens were already built and they were hot. And right now, in the present day United States, black people in your face are seeing what is going on. If you are in Tulsa, Oklahoma, if you are in the Midwest, Iowa, Arkansas, Louisiana, all of these places, and you are seeing a bunch of migrants, illegal migrants, not even illegal aliens being dropped in your neighborhood, go back 30 years and look what happened to Los Angeles, California, South Central, predominantly black area. This is the playbook. Dimitri K on the African Diaspora News Channel said it best. That's what they mean by control. Control isn't a physical act. They are in control politically, physically, because, in Southern California, our LA sheriffs and our police departments are mostly Hispanic. So physically, they're in control. Economically, they're in control because we have no black businesses. These are what people have been ringing the alarm about. But I just think it's funny how they forget when Trump was running in 2016, I came for Trump. I came for Trump. When he ran in 2020, I came for Trump. But I also pointed out Biden. But I happen to believe, and I know from seeing what I'm seeing, a Kamala Harris election, it's a wrap for black people. You can forget it. And out of her own mouth, and I'm going to say this again, when you're a black person, if you're an Asian, if you're a Hispanic, if you're a white supremacist, you're proud of who you are. When she was asked a direct question about her ethnicity, she said, next question. So don't come to me talking about this woman's a black woman, because what black woman will you go to and ask that question, and she's not going to tell you how proud she is to be a black woman? Now, because I have dark skin, I can't hide my ethnicity. I can't be unknown, mixed race. I can't say things like that, even though most black people are mixed race. There is not an FBA black person that is not mixed race in the United States. But see, because we have dark skin, we can't use that moniker. Kamala Harris is cosplaying. She's using a costume, but when she was directly asked about her ethnicity, she did not defend black people. And there are videos where out of her own mouth, she says, I am the first Indian vice president. Indian descent vice president. She said it. It doesn't matter if you care if she's this or that. That's really irrelevant. It's not that I don't like this woman. She used her WAP to get where she's at. Woo! That must be some good ass WAP. There's a lot of women that are selling WAP and they're still remaining at a level. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? But black people were in trouble. Look at your neighborhoods. Look at the women out here, these young girls that are out here walking around selling pussy. And we're walking around acting like it's not happening. We're acting like it's not happening. I went to the library in San Bernardino and the girls were just walking right in that area where the street is, where that blade is, whatever you call it, whatever the strip is. These are young girls. These ain't women my age, or women that are, maybe have kids or something. Got to feed their families. I said it a long time ago when they legalized marijuana in California that the next stage is going to be prostitution. The shit goes hand in hand. But I was in Atlanta. Women are they're selling WAP everywhere. But we act like it's not happening. But black people are doing so well. If black people are doing so well, why are women objectifying their bodies and selling WAP? Be it in the sex work is sex work. Be it you're walking the street. Be it you're on the internet. Be it you're in the strip club. WAP is WAP. And the government here in California, from what I know, I can only speak on California, they've decriminalized these women walking around in little or nothing but an eye patch covering their cuckoo. Any other situation, by definition, that would be indecent exposure. But they're not being arrested. But if a man was to walk around with an eye patch covering his hee-haw, he'd be arrested. But we're not supposed to speak on this. If black people are doing so well, why is there a mass exodus of black people out of California? You want to know why? I'll tell you why. The gentrification took over 40 years to happen. Why are they building sports stadiums in black neighborhoods? And then the tickets are so expensive that the regular black person can't attend. But HBCUs and we've got all this other stuff. Come on, you guys. This is it. This is it. But I was kind of shocked that my friend brought that up and forgot that I called Trump to task. I even called him to task for grabbing on a woman's hoo-ha. But like I told them, we also forget it was white women, instead of voting for Hillary, they voted for Trump, regardless of what a dirtbag he was. I vote policy. I don't vote emotion. I'm more of a logical person. And he thought about it. He's like, yeah, you're right. I forgot. You did. Exactly. Exactly. I would not call this woman out. And again, my friend doesn't live in California. So a lot of you guys don't understand that this woman is a demon when it comes to black people. She doesn't even deny it. Tulsi, just go look at the video of
is disproportionately negatively impacting black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris, your response.
As the elected Attorney General of California, I did the work of significantly reforming the criminal justice system of a state of 40 million people, which became a national model for the work that needs to be done. And I am proud of that work. And I am proud of making a decision to not just give fancy speeches or be in a legislative body and give speeches on the floor, but actually doing the work of being in the position to use the power that I had to reform a system that is badly in need of reform. That is why we created initiatives that were about reentering former offenders and getting them counseling.
The bottom line is, Senator Harris, when you were in a position to make a difference and an impact in these people's lives, you did not. And worse yet, in the case of those who were on death row, innocent people. You actually blocked evidence from being revealed that would have freed them until you were forced to do so. There is no excuse for that. And the people who suffered under your reign as prosecutor, you owe them an apology. Our Democratic Party, unfortunately, is not the party that is of, by, and for the people.
On Kamala Harris, because a lot of you guys don't know her history here. How would you like to have a loved one who is possibly framed, not by their enemy or somebody, by the state? The state corroborated evidence against defendants. And you're not worried about that? This woman hasn't even taken the oath of office and bowed the knee to Israel to give them everything they need to continue the aggression in Gaza. How do you seek peace and you arm the aggressor? But y'all don't care about that. She went to a HBCU, so that makes her black. And the woman won't even acknowledge that she's black. But you're saying she's black. I'm saying she's not black. She's basically saying she's not black. You're saying she's black because she happens to have dark skin. Have you been to India before? Have you been to the Philippines before? They've got dark-skinned people there, but are they considered black? No. Aboriginals in Australia, they're dark-skinned people, but are they black? Sure, they're black if you're using the word black as an adjective to describe something incidental about that person. They're black. It was a black guy, 5'10", whatever. If you're using it as an adjective. When I see a white person, I say white. What does white entail? It could be Spanish. It could be German. It could be Norwegian. It could be Swedish, British. It entails a lot of things. But this woman doesn't have any lineage to FBA in America. Obama doesn't have any lineage to FBA in America. So, by your logic, if I should support a black woman, then please nominate one. But that's where we're at with that, you guys. I'm a little disappointed. The Democratic Party has basically told black people, kiss our ass, we're not going to do a damn thing for you, but they're going to do everything they can for these illegal aliens that are coming into the country and give them a leg up over black people. It's sad. And I've been ringing the alarm for 8 years, and I'm getting tired. I'm getting older, and I'm getting tired, and you know what? I'm going to go on with my life and go live a happy life and do that sooner or later. But I firmly believe a Kamala Harris election will be the end of the black community as we know it. Now, there's no black community, whatever you want to call it. They're doing it right in your face. They will do deficit spending just to put other groups over Americans. A national disgrace when you got almost 1 million veterans that are homeless in the streets, but you can put up illegal aliens in hotels that ain't supposed to be here in the first place. Every last one of those California Assembly Democrats needs to be booted out of office. Because not a Republican voted for that. This is Democratic policy. We can't talk about Trump right now because Trump's not in office. But when Trump was in office, things were doing pretty good. I'm Donovan Sadiq. I'm the recovering Democrat. You guys, happy Labor Day. And enjoy your holiday today because reality is right back tomorrow. So,
is it about
again,
the Negro? I mean, every other group that came as an immigrant somehow,
you got to do a really
not easily, but somehow got around it. Is it just the fact that Negroes are black?
White America must see that no other ethnic group has been a slave on American soil. That is one thing that other immigrant groups haven't had to face. The other thing is that the color became a stigma. American society made the Negro's color a stigma. America freed the slaves in 1863 through the Emancipation Proclamation of Abraham Lincoln, but gave the slaves no land or nothing in reality, and as a matter of fact, to get started on. At the same time, America was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that there was a willingness to give the white peasants from Europe an economic base. And yet it refused to give its black peasants from Africa, who came here involuntarily in chains and had worked free for 244 years, any kind of economic base. And so emancipation for the Negro was really freedom to hunger. It was freedom to the winds and rains of heaven. It was freedom without food to eat or land to cultivate, and therefore it was freedom and famine at the same time. And when white Americans tell the Negro to lift himself by his own bootstraps, they don't look over the legacy of slavery and segregation. I believe we ought to do all we can and seek to lift ourselves by our own bootstraps, but it's a cruel jest to say to a bootless man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And many Negroes, by the thousands and millions, have been left bootless as a result of all of these years of oppression and as a result of a society that deliberately made his color a stigma and something worthless and degrading.